Can Europe make it 3 Weber Cup wins in a row? Well, it's been a great opening night for them. At the moment, they are 4-1 ahead and only one red mark on that scoreboard. Wes Malott, the only player to actually put a point on the board for Team USA tonight. The Europeans have come out firing. They're in brilliant form tonight. It's our final game of the evening now. Dominic Barrett against Bill O'Neill. Captain's picks. How will this one pan out? Let's hand over to your commentators, Cass Edwards and Simon Golding.
Thanks, Tony. Well, Cass, just roll the clock back a year. And what do we have at this point in Weber Cup 15?
We did have the USA 4-1 in the lead. And you'll never guess who the two captains' picks were that played the the last game of the evening. A certain Dominic Barrett and a certain Bill O'Neill. So lightning has struck twice within a year.
Yes, virtually a mirror image, just that reversal of the score with Europe 4-1 up, this time around. USA made that strong start last year, then there was that fabulous Sunday comeback from Team Europe. What a day that was, Cass.
Yes, 7 of the last 9 matches won by Europe last year to seal the victory. Dom Barrett using the full width of the lane here and getting some great reaction in the back end.
And also using his original ball, so not going with the bronze ball that he finished the last game off against Wes Malott with. Going back to the original, and Bill O'Neill as well, sticking with his original bowling ball. And unfortunately for O'Neill, having thrown some really nice balls in the warm-up, leaves himself a 10.
Yeah, big reaction at the back end. The 6 pins bounced right round that 10 pin. Absolute ringer. So that can only be a spare, and it wasn't a bad shot, so yeah, he'll be disappointed, I must admit.
But if you're going to have a spare or an open, do it in the first frame. That's the least damage that can be done. But for O'Neill, questions already.
Sorry, Simon. This is the 3rd game that's been bowled on this lane since it's been dressed, so it may well be, as Guy said earlier on, some of the oil may have moved around. It might be a little bit inconsistent. So it's up to these guys with their reactive bowling balls to sort the line out. 40 feet the oil has gone down, although it may have even carried down a little bit more since that was put down two games ago.
Yes, these reactive surfaces on the ball will pick up the oil and distribute it a little further down into the dry part of the lane. And that's what can cause the problems for the bowlers. Dom throwing strong and long, and it's working.
Certainly using the full width of the lane. His feet are way left on the approach. Gets that ball out to about the 4th board from the right-hand side channel. And just comes back and rips the rank. Sets up that chain reaction that all these guys are looking for when they hit that 1-3 pin pocket.
Good strike from Bill O'Neill. Will feel now that at least he's in this captain's pick game.
Well, yeah, that's 2 shots that he's had in the pocket. Just the 1 strike, though, of course.
33-year-old took his time to get going on the PBA. That's the professional league out in the USA, and for a while we were talking about the monkey on his back, just couldn't seem to win a title, having got to a lot of televised finals. Then he did it, and then really started to cement his place as one of the top bowlers in the States. Barrett has done the same thing with his PBA victory, and he's done it in this game with a turkey. So 3 in a row for the European captain, and it's looking good for the Blues at the moment.
Crikey, what a shot this was. How far left he's standing and how far right he's throwing that ball. It's light in the pocket, sets up the chain reaction, hits them slightly thin, makes them spin, and that will do for a turkey.
Goes into the zone. Doesn't want to leave it. Forget your opponent. It's you against the lane. Good work from O'Neill. So he doubles up and at least keeps some pressure on. He won't be that happy with the strike. It was a little bit of a fumble for some of the pins.
Looks great on the score sheet, Simon.
Yeah, that's what they say, isn't it? No pictures on the scorecard. It's all 10 down.
But you are quite right. These guys are fighting the lane. They're not playing against one another per se. They're fighting the lane. And if they can overcome the lane, they're going to shoot 250, 260. and hopefully that will win. But it's very much man against the lane.
I'll get you after this ball, Cass, just to remind us of the score last year between these two in the captain's pick. As Barrett sends another ball down to make it a 4-bagger, and this is looking very, very good. And a little glance across there to TJ in the captain's pick, would you?
Have some of that. Okay, let's go back, jump back 12 months. Bill O'Neill, 218, not a bad game. Don Barrett, 253, which made it 4 points to 2 for the Americans.
Yes, doesn't look like it's going to go that way for the moment. O'Neill, though, if he keeps striking, he's there, he's laying in wait. And when we get that little transition again on the oil pattern, if Barrett doesn't read it, O'Neill's waiting.
Well, what's changed from the last game when Bill had a 170, which was a pretty good dart score, not a very good bowling score, and at the moment he's pacing 290 if he can strike off the sheet.
What a cracker to finish our first session at Weber Cup 16. And this crowd know just how important these next few deliveries are for the Team Europe captain Dominic Barrett. Five strikes in a row. And Barrett, the dominator as he's called, is certainly dominating this one.
It's such a consistent line he's throwing. He's decided to play way left, throw way right. So the rotation of the ball is fantastic, and it's coming back into the pocket, carrying all 10 pins. He's, as we have said before, locked and loaded. And in another couple of frames, he may well be thinking that something's on here.
We shall not mention it. Back goes the pressure to Bill O'Neill. And the pressure tells, leaves the split, and that might be done and dusted for O'Neill.
That's the identical split that Chris Barnes left last year in the last Baker game, the 7-9 split off of a ball that hit the headpin and was just a bit light, but it's carried nothing. And there's 2 on the back row. This will be an open frame, and well, Bill's face tells you he can't believe it. He's just going to have to throw this hard and fast and hope something might bounce out. Unfortunately, it is the open frame.
And the big Bill O'Neill shoulders slump as he returns to the chair. That does not make good reading. He was pacing pretty nicely after that spare in the first frame, O'Neill, but now massive deficit on the man that just can't stop striking. 5 in a row then for Don Barrett, looking for a 6-pack and looking to put O'Neill away.
Yes, put him away early doors.
Dominic's wife Cassie in the audience watching on, along with a lot of Dom's family here as the domination they have on their t-shirts, and watching their man do the business here. The European captain has come back and come back strong.
Yes, it's a pretty impressive looking bowling ball he's throwing there, isn't it? I think it's a new one on the market. Dom's sponsors have given him, and it's certainly doing the business at the moment.
But that's what makes this young man so good, his ability to read and learn things that a lot of mere mortals just don't see on the lane. No. Just spare a thought for the American, for Bill O'Neill. Barnsley's going to seem like a very quiet, cold place right now. And there's not much he can do about it if Barrett keeps throwing as well as he has. So all O'Neill can do is try to find strikes through to the end of this game and hope. That'll do for starters.
Yes, Simon, you're quite right. He can do nothing else. Just has to hope he can make the pocket and hope he can carry all 10 as well. Don Barrett's scorecard looking perfect after 6 frames. He's halfway there.
Again, just trying to go with the process. You hear other sports talking about that. You don't want to get ahead of yourself. You want to maintain the same rhythm that's worked all the way.
226 average in the PBA last year for the whole season. And oh dear, could that be a slightly lucky one? Number 7.
Yeah, so hasn't quite matched Martin Larsson's performance earlier on in Weber Cup 16, but he's not far off it. But you're right, Cass, this is the first one where a couple of the pins had to think about it, and Dominic Barrett's going to have to think about how and where and at what pace he delivers his next ball. Working a strike. O'Neill finds himself another split.
It never rains, but it pours. Slightly high on the headpin and leaves a 4-9 split. Probably a 5-1 shot, but just unfortunate. You leave these 2 pins on a ball that was almost a strike.
Oh, and in the gutter, nothing knocked over. It's a second open frame for Bill O'Neill. Oh dear, well, last year, coming back to haunt him this year, I'm afraid Bill O'Neill is once again having a terrible start to his Weber Cup campaign.
Yes, and the European side have caught Bill 2 games in a row. Certainly not at his best. He's got the nickname the real deal, and people know around the world know how good he can be. Won tournaments everywhere.
Oh, nice messenger from Don Barrett. And the European team and the Domination fan club loving every minute of this one.
He makes it look so simple, doesn't he? Right in the pocket, lots of pin action. The 6 pin's the last one to go.
Well, Bill O'Neill increasing his pace because he just wants to get off the lane and get away from the metronome and regroup.
Well,
but
not
now,
only that, not only that, he wants to get out of the way and let Don Barrett get up there.
yeah, because now we've got something else to focus on, and something potentially very special as we move into the foundation frame.
Yeah, frame number 9. Nice little one right in the 1-3 pocket here, Dom. Will go down nicely.
No, didn't make it back. Just didn't make it back. You could see that. It was struggling to get back to the pocket with any impetus. And another 300 game goes begging for Team Europe.
And that's what Lane Oil can do to the ball. It just sat up and kind of aquaplaned, didn't it? It really didn't want to flip up to the pocket.
It's an open frame for Barrett, but not in time to save Bill O'Neill. Well, disappointment from the European captain, but the job is done. And he's got a first point on the board for the Team Europe in terms of his singles efforts. That Baker win, quite an important one for Europe, got them some nice momentum early doors. Then lucky Martin Larsson, no luck about it at all. He was quite superb in his singles against Parker Bowe. And it's kind of rolled from there, and Wes Malot's solitary point for Team USA. Just think, if they hadn't picked him this year, Cass, they wouldn't have had any points.
Well, this game will make the session score 5-1 to Europe. I mean, that is a massive starter.
Little experiment there from Barrett. Just having a look at a different ball, different line, and then a quick smile over to Oskar Palermo, who's filming every moment of this match. The former European captain has his camera phone focused on the current European captain, who is very much focused on doing the job here. And once again, a little chat between O'Neill and Barrett, but it's all in good humour. Another ball experimented with. That is a tough one to take for Bill O'Neill. It's a great one, though, for this Barnsley crowd to celebrate. Now O'Neill bowling, so he has to finish, even though this is done.
And the crowd's going to help him out. It's not the time or the place he wants to be just at this particular moment. Changes the line and leaves the big 4.
Bowling his spare ball to that one, so the lower reaction ball, and that's what he's left himself. Hey, there we go, there we go. Well done, Bill O'Neill.
And well done the fans at Metrodome here at Barnsley. It would be nice if he could pick this spare up. I don't think he will.
Nothing has gone right for the real deal, I'm afraid, in the first session of Weber Cup 16. But just about everything has gone right for Team Europe. Dominic Barrett, picked in the captain's pick by his opposite number, Tommy Jones, comes to the party big time in our final match of the session to put another point on the board for Team Europe. They need a discussion amongst the players down there on the lane, and we'll have some discussion about exactly what has gone on in this first session of Weber Cup 16 with Tony and Guy after the break. It's 5-1, Team Europe.